the police in this country to answer for why we have a police force that is harbouring perpetrators of violence against women, and we don't seem to be able to get on top of the problem. So I think there's a lot more that government need to do, and they also need to be accountable for what happens next.
I mean, just briefly, it's hard to imagine women's trust in the police falling any further. Where do you think it stands after this today?
I think that a lot of victims and survivors of rape and other forms of violence against women and girls are going to be reeling from these latest revelations. They are going to be traumatised by some of the detail of his depravity, and are going to be wondering whether the police are people they can come forward and report to. I would say that for the police to really rebuild that trust and confidence, they have to show that they're taking this very seriously. But alongside that, the whole response to how you investigate sexual violence and domestic abuse has to improve. We're still grappling with very, very low levels of prosecution when it comes to crimes like rape, and we still don't have the right level of specialism when it comes to investigating these crimes either. All of that has to improve before women can feel that the police is a service for them and that they can access justice by reporting.
But a bleak day, though.
It's an incredibly bleak day for victims and survivors of violence against women and girls, and I know that a lot of people are going to be really from this, and I know that also many officers are going to be disgusted by this individual's actions. However, we all have a part to play here in calling out misogyny, and I would say to officers on the force that they should be coming forward and reporting their colleagues when they exhibit these kinds of worrying, concerning behaviours. Everyone has a role to do in getting rapists and abusers out of the police force.
Andrea Simon, thanks very much for talking to us today.
Thank you, Jackie.
Well, joining me now is Donna Jones, the Conservative Police and Crime Commissioner for Hampshire and the Isle of Wight. Thanks very much for joining us this evening. Nearly 50 offences, including more than 20 rapes. Yet the whole time, David Carrick was able to wear a police uniform, sport a police badge, remain a serving officer. What has gone wrong here?
Well, this is a huge stain on British policing today, and it's clear that the Met's vetting process and, in fact, the way that they handle complaints and reports of misconduct with their police officers has let women down, and it's led to some of the most degrading crimes, as we've just heard, from him raping, starving, enslaving those 12 poor women that were subject to his crimes over those 2 decades. I think what we need to be clear about here is that there are tens of thousands of decent men and women serving in the Metropolitan Police Service today, and Sir Mark Rowley is clearly very focused on wanting to drive up the standards in the Metropolitan Police Service. However, there are clear, fundamental, systematic failings of their vetting service, but more importantly also of their Police Standards Department, who are not suspending officers and bringing those corruption allegations to bear quick enough. And that has allowed him to be on the streets of Britain carrying a warrant card and therefore unduly influencing his victims to silence them, and that's a real shame.
I mean, so you talk about the new Commissioner, Mark Rowley. He's made it really clear that he is determined to reform the Met, specifically issues like this. Do you think he can do it? Do you trust him?
Well, as well as being a Police and Crime Commissioner here, I'm also the national lead for victims, and I am deeply concerned by what appears to be a deep-rooted and toxic culture in the Metropolitan Police. Now, you talked there about Mark's determination, and I've met Mark, I've worked with Mark over the last few months since he's been the Commissioner of the Met. I think he is an outstanding, exemplary example of a police commissioner, of somebody, one of the most senior cops in the country. However, can any one person change the culture of such a large police force? It's like trying to turn the Titanic. I've argued for some time now, well over a year since the death of Sarah Everard, that the Metropolitan Police Service is too large, that I believe that it needs to be broken up perhaps into 3 or 4 smaller police forces, so that there is an ability for the individuals at the top of those 3 or 4 police forces to get under the root of the problem, to make sure that they are really driving down the chain from the top down and ensuring that there is a clean-up of a culture. Because not all police forces are operating in this way. And I think where you have complaints made, you often will get in all industries, people who do things they shouldn't do. Police officers should be the most upstanding members of the community, but really police forces should be judged on how they deal with those complaints when they come in. And in most police forces across the country, somebody like David Carrick would have been suspended immediately, no assumption of guilt, but whilst there was a full and thorough investigation.
I want to come on to the issue of other police forces if we can just a second. So briefly, just to be clear, despite his good intentions, you think the new commissioner, he's just not going to be able to do this, that something much more fundamental has to happen to the Met?
Over a long period of time, perhaps, yes. I think he's very, very determined. But if my honest opinion is, I think the Metropolitan Police Force is ginormous. It's the size of 4 or 5 average police forces in this country. I think that is why people are able to hide in plain sight in their uniforms. They are able to operate in a way that is toxic, which is abusive and deeply criminal. People are being murdered, raped. Women particularly are being put in a vulnerable position by men who are, let's be honest, predatory, monsters who are operating on the streets of Britain in police uniforms. I think Mark is extremely determined. I think he's very professional and committed, but I do think the Metropolitan Police Service is too large, and yes, I believe it should be broken up.
And just finally and briefly again, if you would, the police inspectorate as far back as 2016 says sexual misconduct within the police force across the country, across England and Wales, is the gravest form of corruption. So they have been saying for years that it is across England and Wales. If forces aren't listening to the inspectorate, you know, is the inspectorate itself failing? Are the systems in place to monitor police forces failing?
Well, of course, the Met doesn't reflect all of British policing. And no, HMIC, Her Majesty's Inspector of Constabulary, adds some fantastic value. In my own force, they've done some great reviews, and we've got some fantastic learning that's come from that. And in fact, the Met Police referred themselves to HMIC around 7 or 8 months ago, post the death of Sarah Everard. And there was a review undertaken by them in 2022 of the vetting process. It came up with 43 recommendations. Now, most police forces are working their way through those, making sure that they have implemented them. I don't know where the Met are in terms of their implementation of those. We heard from Sir Mark Rowley himself today that they have failed and they are not doing what they need to do to keep people safe. And that surely has to be the number one priority for any police force in England and Wales.
Donna Jones, much more to talk about, but thanks very much for joining us this evening. Thanks very much.